action, so on and so forth, because that's family. Once the families disintegrate, the society's going to disintegrate. So family is serious. So there's a category in Sharia dealing just with family. And then, as I said, intellect and property. Now, when all these things were happening about Sharia, if you notice, when all these things, let's talk about Sharia this, Sharia that, Sharia this, right? There were other things happening. Other things happened. And this was a perfect opportunity for us to apply the Sharia to the things that we were seeing happening in the society here. What do I mean by that? We remember the Occupy movement. Occupy? 99%, 1%, so on and so forth, which actually was the most significant movement to come up in this country in, like since the 60s. It was extremely significant, extremely significant. But when the Occupy thing came up, it was bringing up issues that people weren't talking about, very important issues. At the same time this was happening, there was this whole clamor about the Sharia. This was a perfect opportunity, right? Going back to the second obligation, take this message out. It was a perfect opportunity for us to apply the Sharia to things that were happening in society that we were seeing. For example, it came out by the government that there are at least 50 million people in America who go to bed hungry. You're not going to see this on TV. What you'll see on TV is lifestyles of the rich and famous. But you're not going to see on TV that there's at least 50 million people in America who are going to bed hungry. What does the Sharia say about that? Right? There are another 50 million people in this country who don't have health care. There are thousands of people every year who die in America simply because they don't have health care. They die. Most of the bankruptcies that happen in America are people who are trying to pay off their medical bills. Most of the bankruptcies. What does Sharia have to say about that? Millions of people losing their homes in foreclosure. What does Sharia have to say about that? What does Sharia have to say about how minorities are treated in a society? What does Sharia have to say about how corporations behave themselves in a society? What does Sharia have to say about how poor people are treated in a society? This was a perfect opportunity for us to apply the Sharia, our civilization, to things that are happening in society itself. So if you're calling us uncivilized, if you're calling us backwards, actually, according to the Sharia, everyone has to have health care. According to Sharia, education must be free. According to the Sharia, poor people have to be helped out of their poverty so they can become independent. According to Sharia. According to Sharia, we don't call them minorities, we call them dhimmis. We call them the covenant people. We call them the protected ones. That's what we call them. The protected one. Minor means, minority is minor. Minorities. No, our minorities, so-called, are protected. Our so-called minorities come under the protection of the Quran and Sunnah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, anyone who kills a dhimmi, anyone who kills a dhimmi unjustly, I will bear witness against him on the day of judgment. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said it. So therefore, the non-Muslims in a Muslim society are under the protection of the Quran and the Sunnah. Let's talk about, in the Sharia, how police are supposed to behave themselves. So let's use the Sharia dealing with the things that we see every day.